Don't fall.
Famous last words.
No, that wasn't actually OSHA regulated.
Bring the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We'll do roll call.
Osluper,
Here.
Wakeman,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Needham,
Here.
Huang,
Here.
Mayor Gardner,
Here.
and Skatulski is absent excused.
Thank you very much. Moving on to approval of the consent agenda, I'm going to suggest we add item D, which is first reading of the blight ordinance that we newly reworked, just got it today. We will have time to review it. We can't adopt it at this meeting because of our charter. Our charter says that you can't introduce an ordinance and adopt it in the same meeting. So we can do the first reading and vote on whether or not to adopt it next meeting. And our attorney will be here to explain it at the next meeting. And so I'm proposing that we add the first reading to the agenda today.
I'm sorry, I thought he was coming to this meeting.
No, we talked about it, but he'll probably have a closed session next meeting. So we said, since we can't adopt it, we just introduce it, give everybody a chance to read it. He will answer any questions we have, and I'll go over a little bit after talking to him. He can explain a lot better than I can, but he did a lot of edits to it, and I'll cover that. So that's recommending an item D under new business and council action. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve never mind. I propose a motion to approve consent agenda items A through D as presented, waiving the reading.
A through B.
A through B.
Yes, A through B. And then C will be a separate.
Oh,
Vote.
C. Oh, gotcha. I thought you said you were just adding D.
Oh, adding D to the action items and new business.
Gotcha. All right, A through B. My bad. I'll go back home and go to bed.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
She's new.
Neil took a nap.
That's with the addition of the item D, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
We have a motion, do we have support?
Support. Somehow.
We got support, any discussion?
Yeah, actually, I had 2 items on the meeting minutes. It's small. It's the Chateau Louise fence request and the healthcare coverage. It says to approve/deny. Just to scratch off the deny portion. Those were both approved.
Okay, on the minute.
It's
Oh, on that
second
one?
page,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, do you have that, Charlie?
Yep.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Moving on to the bills and warrants. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve bills of warrant number 14243 paid in the amount of $14,708.77 and bills of warrant number 14244 unpaid in the amount of $9,067.47 as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion, we have support. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote.
Perry,
Yes.
Needham,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Huang,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. We don't have any presentations. We'll move on to the mayor's report, which is newly minted. I had to pretty much rewrite everything due to just incidents that came up and new information today. Thank you, Kelly Harper, and the many others who hosted and planned and put together the Trunk or Treat again this year. It's not a city-funded event, but it's a great community activity with widespread participation, bringing everybody out in the community, bringing visitors into our community. We had perfect weather. The crowd was very well behaved. No kid went without candy or will not. I don't think any kid will run out of candy before trick or treating, which is next Friday, October 31st, 6 till 7:30. And just to note, the reason we go 6 to 7:30 is that's by resolution of council. They made a resolution to set trick or treating times. So now we have it in stone unless council changes it. But I didn't know that existed. I know we always had it those
Never heard
times,
of that.
but there's actually a resolution.
When was that, can I ask?
You remember Charlie?
1964.
It was some time ago. It was before my time.
It was a while ago.
But if in case anybody asks, and that's what it works out anyway. But it was a great event. I did apply for the Placer AI statistics to see how many people actually attended.
She
Didn't get a
thinks there's
reply.
like 1,200 kids
We will find out.
How do they actually determine that?
because of the way that Andy bought the candy bars and how many he had left.
We'll
That's
see
the
how-
count?
No, that was
That's
their count.
That's the unofficial account.
I was asking the
Yeah,
mayor's
Placer
version.
Placer AI basically goes by phone data, and we have access to that information. It doesn't tell who was there; it just tells how many. So there's no personal identification in that, but they can tell how many people were there based on algorithms with cell phone data. Every app that every time you sign a user agreement for a phone app, you agree to that. So
Interesting.
it's publicly available information for anybody who wants to buy it. Advertisers are the main customers, but we do have access through SEMCOG that we can get a report of how many people were there. Bose and High Profile are both making rapid progress with the renovations. They're kind of in a race to see who can open. So you see a lot of activity there. They've been great to work with, very professional and thorough in their planning and communications with the building office. The Planning Commission did approve the site plan and the compliance with the special use requirements for the Bose, which is the former trucking company site there that they now own. There's been a little bit of confusion of how that works. We follow the process of the Zoning Enabling Act, 110 of 2006, and that's how we get our authority. And it also defines how we do this, the process we use for regulating zoning. Residential is very easy. There's really one narrow use there. Residential, it either is or, building houses is pretty simple. Commercial properties get a lot more complicated because the commercial use, depending on what it is regulated differently. So commercial properties, whenever you change the use, it has to go to the Planning Commission for approval. Also, in our zoning ordinance, for some uses, you have special requirements that you have to follow, depending on what the business is. And that's spelled out in our zoning ordinance. So anytime a commercial use changes, the use changes on the commercial property, it'll go before the Planning Commission and they will vote on it. Just to give a quick review of how that works. And if you want further explanation, we're glad to answer any questions you have. Stop in City Hall or catch one of us, and we'd be glad to explain how that works. I learned today that our Category B funding for the repair of Gagne Road was denied. What it means is that I would like to contact an engineer to do the core samples and everything that we need to do to assemble a bid package, just put it out for bid. I don't think it's worth waiting another year and a half. I don't think the road will wait that long for another grant cycle to come around and then see if we get the money. That would put it close to 2 years from now. I don't think that's worth waiting. So what I'll do is reach out to David Leach. He's been very helpful from the road commission of get recommendations for engineers that do this. We've used Frederick and Associates before. He came out and took a look, but he never submitted the package that the quote that we need to hire him. And I've tried repeatedly to call him and haven't got an answer. If he still wants to do it, I'm fine with that. But I'm going to reach out to other engineers. This is all new just today, so I'll keep council in the loop and see what we need to do to get that road repaired, because it just is really bad. It's worse than the LaSalle and Erie side, and I don't like that. And that's our responsibility, not theirs. That's all I have for now. Any questions?
I do have a question.
Yes.
And they may seem trivial to some, I realize, you're probably the only one at this table that has small children at home. Since the trick-or-treating time was set by council resolution, can we pass a new resolution on that? Because I know that's been discussion amongst many parents for a long time, is why we're one of the only communities that has an hour and a half trick-or-treat time versus most communities have 2 hours. With as widespread as the city is, and with the lesser amount of people that hand out candy these days due to rising costs, little legs are not able to cover that much ground. And I feel like the extra time would be helpful. And I think most people keep their lights on until about 8 o'clock anyhow.
So the short answer is yes.
I mean, we could do it, yeah. It's kind of a different scenario on this end of town as opposed to the south end of town. I start running out of customers about 7 o'clock and then just barely get in the end. But I understand Lakewood's not like that. They get a lot more. We can discuss it.
Well, we are discussing it.
Yeah,
Just propose something.
right.
Put it together.
But we're not gonna, yeah, right, we're not gonna
Okay.
probably not amend it tonight, but we can look
Okay.
at that and get
Okay.
some input on it, see how we should do that, if we should proceed and make it 2 hours.
Okay.
But it's always a possibility, we can always change it. Any other questions? Moving on to department reports. Police report and blight report. I thought the chief was gonna be here, I don't see him.
He's on the call.
Okay. Fire department, none. Building report, we don't have one. The next one is going to be a doozy. There was a lot of approvals that went into place and a lot of permits that were paid for. So looking forward to that one. Committee reports, DDA, a lot of exciting things happening there. Dewey, do you want to expound? I don't want to steal your thunder as a member of the DDA.
Yeah. So we actually had a special meeting last week to go through the approval of 2 items. One was the sidewalk project, the funding for the sidewalk project. We didn't feel like it was worth the wait. It is getting colder out. Concrete doesn't settle well when it gets cold out, and waiting 2 more weeks would have put a lot of this project at risk and pushed the timeline back till acceptable weather, and Michigan weather can be a little bit finicky and difficult to navigate. So we held a special meeting to look at the approval of one of the quotes for the $31,000 and some change. I don't have that figure off the top of my head at this point. For the sidewalk project out in front of the beach cafe. So there was that aspect of it. The other one was the MDA, the approval of the usage of funds to be able to send commissioners to the MDA conference again this year. And we are working through the logistics of which commissioners are going on which day at this point.
Okay, yep, very good conference. A lot of information, a lot of collaborating with other municipalities and seeing how you do things. And there are like many funding opportunities that we can use with our TIF funding. A lot of subject covered there, so that's a good thing. Thank you for that. Flood, I can update. We do have a report of a couple of spots on places in the dike that we have to look at. They're gonna need some attention. Now's a good time to do that with the low water level. So we'll have a report. We may have to do some repairs coming up here. Nothing imminent that's going to compromise the dike, but repairs that we need to do. Parks and Rec, we don't have a report. We do have a lot of activity there with Parks and Rec and everything they're doing. Pickleball courts. They are helping with the next event coming up, the Veterans Day Parade. I know the planning is really coming together on that. So if anybody wants to chime in with Parks and Rec, we can. If not, we don't have any report from planning other than I kind of stole your thunder with the approval of the special use and site plan for the marijuana place, correct?
Yep.
And a meeting coming up Tuesday. Regular meeting. There was a special meeting and now there's a regular meeting coming up Tuesday. Moving on to old business, I just got one more quote in for the walls, putting a hard surface on the walls, and I got a quote back from one contractor. Another contractor took measurements, and we'll get back with one more quote on that. But I'll send what I have out to council. We're not going to do any actions now. It'll be wintertime when we can actually close it down, because we'll have to rip everything out and then rebuild the inside of it. And we have to look at the funding to see how we're gonna pay for it. But I'll send that out. What I have, I'll send that out this week, and we'll give an idea how much cost we're looking at to have the floors, the walls, and the stalls all redone. Blight ordinance. Spent a lot of time with our attorney this week putting this together. It also is covered in new business, but as I explained, we'll have time to read it between now and the next meeting because we can't really act on it, but our attorney will be here to explain it. I know some of the changes were, some of the references to laws didn't really apply to cities, they applied to townships, so he put the right legal references in there and changed the way, added some options in case we issue a ticket and somebody just decides they don't want to pay. It will make it easier for us to follow the process there and force compliance there. So Phil will be here to explain it. He can explain a lot better than I can, but he will be here to explain it. I don't want everybody to read it, and if anybody wants a copy of it, we'll get you a copy. The Library Foundation, I'm talking to contractors. I haven't gotten anybody to actually commit to doing the work or even give me a quote. I've had a couple builders look at it and they said that's not the kind of work they do. They want to do a whole foundation. They don't want to do a spot repair like that. Both of them agree that it's not a structural problem. It's something we have to deal with, but it's not going to cause any further damage or anything like that. We just have 5 blocks that are completely deteriorated. And both of them say that there was probably water damage there somehow. It's kind of odd how it just affected 5 blocks, but he said it can be done. I have 2 references to people who might do it, and I haven't got a return call from either one of them yet. So I'll keep pursuing that and try to get that fixed. The part-time city administrator position, we have a subcommittee working on that.
Yes. If one person on the subcommittee could free up his time to better serve the committee, that would probably help. But he's doing the best he can and spend some late hours trying to put together an outline that would allow us to do proper discovery of the hard data that we need first. Okay. And Connie's done a good job of that so far. Then there's some items that need discussion. So I'm going to try to find some time this coming week to get us all together and
Okay.
begin the rest of that. So there has been good progress. The other thing that's interesting is that I decided to take advantage of something we pay for out of the MML, Michigan Municipal League, and we got really wonderful data and demographic data on like-sized communities that are mayor council forms of government like ours. And so we got all kinds of contact information should we try to reach out to some of them to see how they comprise their, they're not always called city administrators, some of them are managers.
right. Yep.
Some are their clerks also serving as managers, so we're pushing for that. Nothing?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, it was interesting to see that there were, double duties on some of these smaller communities like ours. So lots to consider, a lot of resources to tap into, and the Michigan Municipal League was really great about that, really great help.
Thank you for your hard work, and I'm excited about that. I've been talking with some of the other mayor in our county who's been very helpful and things like any kind of advice like that and ideas on that, and also said contact them anytime you have questions. And they have a dream team in Monroe. They've had some really good people there, so they're a great resource. And MML, I will
They have
second
different
that.
they have different availability than we do as
Yeah,
well, so
right,
it may not
right.
always be
Right,
something
but-
we can use, but understood. Thank you.
Right, and they do have there are some part-time people out there, so when we get to that point. And I will second that, shout out to MML and SEMCOG also. I was up in Troy, Michigan today, just soaking in a lot of information and resources that we have available, how things get done. SEMCOG has been just really key in helping us out, and we really get our money's worth out of those two organizations. Moving on to the new ordinance, the Fire Code Adoption Ordinance, 2024 edition. That we've talked about this before. It's just adopting the international code, and it pretty much everything that we have now. I talked with Mike Dembski. It's really based on that. So there's nothing we have to change internally. It just helps us with our ISO rating if we formally adopt that code. Everything we do is based off it now. So if we formally adopt it, it will be helpful.
I can't remember the edition that they had prior, but it was quite a while ago.
Yes, and the state recognizes that, and that's where the conflict was. We were going by what the state called for, and they were busy trying to update, and it looks like everything came together, so we don't have to change anything to comply with this one. Vehicle purchase, I was hoping the chief could be here to explain on that. We've been putting money away for a vehicle. We haven't purchased a new vehicle in over 10 years. We've always taken used vehicles. I think the last one we bought was a Crown Vic police pursuit. That was the last new vehicle we bought. That was a lot of years ago. I was on council then, but I'll wait and see what the chief has to say about that if you have any questions on it. I got a question today. It is a new vehicle. It's a 2024, but it is a new vehicle. It's a new 2024. Decker Insurance.
Can I add something
Sure.
on there since everybody else doesn't get to see what we see? It does say in the chief's report, one of the agenda items is to purchase a new police vehicle for the department. We would like to thank council for allowing us to save a portion of the unused funds from 2023 and 2024's budgets for the purpose of purchasing a new vehicle and then budgeting the rest of the funds in this year's budget. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yep.
Because the always big question is where's the money coming from?
Yes, and we will sell the ones we have, and they won't get very much for them, especially the one with a blown engine. But we will get a little bit from those if we auction those off. Dustin Dravick, would you like to present? This is Dustin from Decker Insurance.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. You guys are talking about a couple of things. It's not an opinion. I just offer up some advice. With all respect to the mayor, I think candy bars are the best way to count children. Second, with the city administrator that you guys are talking about, I will say that you are not the only ones in the state that face the need, the budget constraints, and the I don't want to say professionalism in a bad way. They do bring, they or them, she or he bring a great balance amongst the mayor, the board, the operations, the department heads. For example, I have a township supervisor who is also the city manager. He does the jobs full time. He's quite successful at it. Very high energy gentleman. If you guys ever wanted to talk with him to see how he balances those things out, I'd be more than happy. And Joe's a great guy. He'd be happy to talk to you guys. Very gregarious. Great person. Does a wonderful job for both communities. Full disclosure, one is the Village of Oxford, and the other one is Richfield Township, which are not small entities. Obviously, we know the Village of Oxford has been through a lot in the last 4 years. So, he's done a great job. The other thing I would say is like you said, if you're looking locally, I insure a number of communities here in the county, and there are a lot of great people out there. I think the opportunity to diversify their skill set, learn from another municipality, would be a great opportunity. Because, like you said, right now it is. I don't want to say it's a bid fest, but it's very competitive for administrators, managers. I've had a number of them leave out of state, go down to Florida, Texas, things like that. So, to have somebody to hang on to for a little while, who's rooted in the community and rooted in Monroe, I think will really benefit Luna Pier in the long run. And I can say, with every fiber of my body, when I get a consistent administrator in, it really does bring a lot of consistency, and I enjoy it immensely from our perspective in terms of keeping track of everything for you guys and exposures and purchases and things like that. And then everybody gets to concentrate on the things that they do best as well. So with that said, I was able to meet with the mayor like we normally do before we come and present with you guys. As you'll see in the packet, we are bringing an increase this year. Now, I did do a 5-year history on premium, claims, property coverage, major items that kind of congregate into why you have the insurance that you have. Some things that, like I said, I just want to, point out right off the bat. And then one reason you might see why I have this and you don't have this is I've been accused of overwhelming people with information from time to time. So I've tried to keep things singular as possible to help the conversation. So in the last 5 years, the premium has increased $16,450 over the last 5 years. So we've gone from $30,239 up to $46,689. In that same time frame, we have increased the overall property blanket coverage by $3,291,787. So when it comes to the breakdown of premium, property and vehicles typically will represent 80% of the premium that you're paying. We're currently insuring just a little over $700,000 in fire vehicles. That is on agreed value plus the vehicles that we insure at ACV or the total fleet. When you look at the overall increase over the last 5 years versus the property limit that we've also increased as well, you'll see that it's far beyond 0.5% in terms of the ask, than in what we're returning back to you. That's the balance. You know, as I explained to the mayor this year, insurance doesn't set the bar. We don't ask fire trucks to be expensive or ambulances. We don't ask for your common everyday vehicle to be, you know, at a minimum of $50,000 this year. We have to react to the coverages that you guys need, you know, in time of difficulty. So, you know, with the unfortunate market the way it's been and the way inflation has taken off in the last 2.5, 3 years, price per square foot has also gone up as well. I don't think you guys would have thought about this, but everything you've been doing on the lighthouse would be double if you were to do it today. I just got done with a library renovation that was supposed to be $875,000 5 years ago. I was just completed in September at 1.2 million. So we are not asking more from you. We are also trying to give back as much as we can to protect your guys' better interest. We are not trying to gouge. We are just trying to, you know, appropriately ask for a return in terms of coverage. One thing that also has been unfortunately nagging and creeping up on you guys is the claim with the transportation company. In the last 5 years, we've dealt with 2 claims, one being the major. We've had a total of roughly $97,000 in losses over the last 5 years. In that same time frame, when you look at the total amount of premium that you've paid, okay, that comes out at about $185,000. So, in a roundabout way, we've you know, as much as we've supposedly collected is usually what we get accused of. We've also had, you know, not had to, but, you know, we're out there on your guys' defense, you know, taking up, you know, the funding for, you know, Mr. Goldsmith to handle, you know, unfortunately what's been going on with you guys. And it's a hard double-edged sword. You know, zoning claims for me are probably the most frustrating. They're the ones that I am the most bitter of, because sometimes, you know, we don't ask for them. We don't try to look for trouble. It's just unfortunate events happen in communities, and you know, we're asked to obviously defend and fund and hopefully put you guys in a better position than you were before. Overall, on the liability side, there's not really any language or limit changes or deductible changes there. Again, liability is costing more to obtain. You know, this year, not just for us, but the insurance industry all around. You know, every unfortunate accident that you hear about, natural disaster, things like that, it all unfortunately culminates at the end of the day. I don't know if any of you know, but, you know, we as a major insurance company go to bigger insurance companies for reinsurance. That reinsurance, you know, every year for the last 3 years has been, unfortunately, you know, picking up in expense as well. And, you know, we're trying to obviously shed that as best as possible. We're not trying to share that in any way, shape, or form, but, you know, there are incremental increases on the liability side, which represents about the last 20% of the, you know, the premium being asked on a given year. But really the domination of the premium that you guys see before you today is on the property and on the vehicle side. Are there any questions?
What section of this does the representation for the city on dynamic transportation fall under?
That would be the wrongful acts, so that would be
Is it under
just
general?
No, that would be the next page, just under general. Wrongful acts, public.
Public officials liability?
Yes, sir, right there. Yep. So your public officials liability,
Yeah.
that is your guys' decision making as a council. It's your planning, your zoning, your ZBA. It even goes down to decisions that, you know, your department heads are going to make. It's basically a line of coverage that is unique to municipalities because you guys are not a business, right? You create public policy. You enforce ordinances. And those ordinances and those situations can be challenged. The most basic way I try to explain that is a light in a parking lot. You know, this community is, you know, rather tight in terms of housing. If the people across the street suddenly don't like the floodlight that you have out here to keep the parking lot safe, they could ask you to remove it or to dim it down or to put shades on it. We could sit there and say no, and they would have the ability to sue you or to file a claim against you to have that light removed, dimmed, or positioned in another manner. So that's what that coverage is specifically for to you all. So Please, sir.
Oh, you mentioned something in our discussion about fire trucks and the age of fire trucks.
Yeah, Jim, thank you. I appreciate that. So what I talked about with Jim is I try not to overthink the future, but if I don't, I feel like my communities would be left in the lurch. There has been conversation with the insurance management and overall underwriting in terms of limiting the limit provided to vehicles older than 20 years old. NFPA is not a law, but NFPA is the ultimate gospel when it comes to fire service. And it is a guidebook that everybody uses as the tone setter. And NFPA states after 20 years, vehicles should be retired and they should be put out to pasture. Now, my opinion of NFPA, I hate it because it's one-sided. It's built for full-time city departments like where I live in the city of Livonia, where I have 4 stations fully manned 24 hours a day. I have 88 firefighters right now in my community. That is in no way, shape, or form a reflection of the city of Pier. There should be 3 books. There should be volunteer, part-time, and full-time, but there's not. And so with those guidelines, there has been conversations in agents meetings and underwriting meetings about not restricting you guys to a limit that would be burdensome, okay? Because one thing that we're noticing right now is that they are looking to the used markets to see the ACV values of what older trucks are. We would still be supplying probably $100,000 more. They're talking about a cap around 200,000, I'm sorry. So there's still plenty of meat on that bone left, but it would force my communities to think a little bit differently. Now, I will say the city of Pier has always been very good since my time being here in terms of the utilization of vehicles. I talk about you guys in name about the Huron Valley ambulance that you purchased. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It's about looking at equipment, not from the standpoint of I'll never get to build one again, so let's spec it out and spend $1 million. I mean, it's getting so insanely expensive and it's burdensome. Whereas I have other communities that have diversified and they order their own cabin chassis, they build their own boxes, they find more creative ways to keep their fleet moving. They might not get brand new. They might take an 05 and turn it in or sell it and buy 15. But I don't want to come here one day and sit there and say, hey, 2 vehicles, you got to get rid of them, or it's going to be this or it's going to be that. We want to work with communities so that we're always keeping them in a positive motion moving forward with the services that you provide. We don't want to hamper you with insurance jargon. We want to work within the gray areas to get you guys moving forward so that we're not surprised by anything. Also, before you ask a question, did I hear about a pickleball court?
Yes.
Is it up or being talked about?
Well, it's the old tennis court. They turned it into pickleball court. It's always been out here.
Oh, good. Oh, so it's nothing.
It's nothing new.
Great.
It's always been
Cool.
there.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because something to always think about, which never resonates with people, like pickleball is just unbelievably popular right now, and I have a lot of communities putting in new specific pickleball courts, and people just look at it like a parking lot. Well, you have the fencing and the lighting and the tennis courts, the pickleball nets themselves, supporting equipment, things like that, and those are things that we insure as well. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. So thank you.
Nothing new.
Yeah,
Just a little bit of upkeep.
yeah, just a little diversification of the floor. So yeah, no, that's fine. So, is there any questions?
Yeah. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate it. Before we go on to the blight, I'm going to ask the chief if he wants to comment on item B, which is our police vehicle purchase.
Yes, sir.
Sorry I was late, we had a call.
That's what we heard.
So as you guys have approved in the budget and then actually over the last couple of years to put money in escrow to save up for a vehicle, with the budget this year and the amount you gave us, it's come to the point where we can afford a vehicle and be able to outfit it. So I took it very seriously, because from what I've been told, the city hasn't bought a new police vehicle since 2011 or something like that. So I don't want to be the one that screws it up. So I looked into researching all the cars, and all of them have their issues, one way or another. They have their issues. So we ended up choosing a Chevy. The Tahoes are a lot of police departments are using Tahoes. Several now are going to the Silverados. In our pricing, the best price we could get was a 2024 Silverado. It's brand new. It's up in Grand Rapids. They will deliver it to us, but the price was 10,000 below basically every other place for Chevys. The Fords were about the same price as about the same price as the Silverado. A little more expensive to outfit, I guess. What I was told by the outfitters, but I think this will do well. It gives us a lot of options to be able to haul stuff if we need to. We have the floods if we need to go grab something to help out the DPW. Even we can even throw it in the back and utilize the back of the truck. But I want to thank you guys for providing the funds. With your guidance and some suggestions by the budget committee and so forth, we got the money and we can do it. Our other vehicles range from 2013, which has a blown motor, to 2016 is our newest, and they all have almost 100,000. Well, three of the four have 100,000. One has 93,000. So we are due. We did purchase the one vehicle just a couple months ago for a stopgap measure, but this is the one that'll put us above it. So thank you. I know I talked to Charlie. He said as soon as it's approved, he can write the check and they can deliver it, I believe, sometime next week. As long as we have the check, they'll come down and pick it up and drop it off and pick up the check. And then the long part is the outfitting, ordering the parts. I guess the metal work. We just went to a trade show down in Ohio. I call it Dr. Abel, but I guess it's Dr. Abel is the name of the company. They had a trade show with all the police equipment there. Talking to those guys, they said the lights are easy, the control boxes are easy. It's the metal work, which is the internal cages and the push bumpers and stuff like that takes months. So hopefully we're looking. I want to have it out by December with just the lights in. If we're going to order a push bar, we can have that come in later and get that installed. We'll put some kind of cage in it to suffice transporting if we need to, but we're not going to do a full cage. Looked at a couple other departments, and they utilize the regular back seat, because the back seats of the trucks are actually very big, not like the Explorers, and so you can put a partition in, and basically you only use a third of the seat for transport, and the other third you could have just people in if you're gonna give somebody a ride, or you have to take 3 officers to a convention or something. You can all fit in there with no problem. But thank you.
Is there a gap between the funds that you have available for the price of the vehicle and the outfitting?
I don't understand that. I have enough to do both.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought you were. Yeah, I have enough to do both, and probably a little surplus. And with that surplus, we're looking at maybe fixing the engine on the car we have, or a lot of guys prefer cars than the trucks or the SUVs. So we might look if we have enough, looking into a used car with way less mileage and in the 2020s models, not the 13s. And so then we get rid of another one of the Explorers.
And then just out of personal curiosity, what is the outfitting cost?
Well, we've been quoted. I sort of freaked out when we purchased the car from Flat Rock. The car they were purchasing new was $20,000. That was the Explorer. It was $20,000, but that was a new computer. That was new everything. So I was like, $20,000. That's talking to Dr. Abel. They said 12 to 15 for a very, very nice package, but that included like, the one they had in the showroom was 15,000. But it had extra drawers and stuff that we wouldn't really need. So I'm looking at, I think we can do it under 10. Under 10 if we don't get the full metal work and all that.
Does that sound about right?
He's smiling.
He gets better deals.
He's smiling.
13,000.
What's that?
13,000.
Okay.
13.
It's right in the
Do you
ballpark.
have a bet here?
Maybe we could have a bidding war.
Yeah.
Did you cash that check?
Yes, I did. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, fine.
You're not the only one that complains about that. I think Charlie got me a couple times too, like, cash that check.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The last thing on the new business is the blight ordinance, and I think we covered that enough. We'll have time to read it, ask questions before we take any action on adoption. Any questions on any of the new business? At this time, I'll open the floor for community input. We have some guests here. Sheriff Goodenough, would you like to?
Well, good evening. I'm Troy Goodenough. For you that don't know me, I'm your sheriff. And every year I try to come in and kind of give you a report of what we handle in your community. Obviously, we're supplemental law enforcement to your police organization that you have, but you also pay county taxes. So that's what we're here to help them and fill in where we're needed. And often people say, well, if I had my own police department, what does the county taxes go to? Well, we run 2 jails at $11 million. So your taxes help fund those operations, and obviously our support services, SWAT, dive team, and others, aviation that the city may call on as needed. So you'll find in front of you a report. What I want to do is I'll just give you a quick snapshot of what we've done in your community, 22, 23, and 24. And if you look on the back, there's just kind of some graphs for simplicity and to further explain it. And I'm just going to hit a couple things. Animal control complaints are probably our biggest number of complaints that we handle here in the city, because that's our job. As your sheriff, we run the animal control division. And in 22, we had 4. 23, we had 3. And in 24, we've had 17 calls for service involving animals. Assaults are 0, 0, and 1. Breaking and entering complaints is 3, 1, and 3. I want to just pause for a minute. These are the calls that the sheriff's office handles, not your city police. So just so I don't confuse you.
But it is for the whole county, though.
Pardon me?
It is for
It's for
This is for the city of
City of
Lenape.
Monroe.
City of Lenape.
Oh, City of Lincoln. Thank
Yes,
you.
these are, no,
It
no.
says that here, but I thought you were
Yeah,
confusing me
no,
for a
county,
second.
no, we,
Be
in
way
French
higher
Town
than
alone,
this.
we handle between 900 and 1,000 calls for service a month. So, yeah, no, we're, this is just a small portion. Domestic violence, 5, 3, and 5. Larcenies, 0, 3, and 2. Traffic accidents, 4, 7, and 2. Traffic stops, 11, 0, and 2. And then our total calls for service are 97, 130, and 149. And as I said, if you look on the back, we provide a small depiction of the general calls for service, what we, so you can compare year to year. So,
What was CSC again?
pardon me?
What was CSC again?
Criminal sexual conduct. And it went from 1 to 0 to 0. So. And again, I don't go through the entire list of just what, I give you what most communities say, Sheriff, just hit these high points, and that's what I give you. And we look at property crimes, B&Es, larcenies. And again, this is supplemental. So your chief, I'm sure, has the ability to provide, well, he does, I know it, because he uses the same report writing program. He can provide the same data for your city. So, but again, I'm just here to provide what we did in your city and to answer any questions that you may have or seek any clarification.
Thank you. Last year, you were able to statistically tell us how many minutes average it took for your personnel to make it here. It was like 13 minutes or something like that. Is that the same statistic this year?
No.
Wasn't it 13 minutes
I
last
don't
year?
remember what it was.
Pretty sure.
I'm gonna take your word, Councilman, if it was 13 minutes, I can tell you we're not close to 13 minutes.
Okay.
I can tell you, we are significantly greater, more time response. We're down 23 deputy sheriffs. We just put a brand new, one just come out of field training, he starts on the road tonight by himself. I have 6 more in the training program, they will not come out until January, solo patrol. I have 6 in 2 different academies. 3 of them graduate in November 13th, and the other one will graduate in the end of December. And I have 10 spots reserved for the January academy, and I have 4 people that are previous law enforcement service that are looking to come for the county. The reason we had so many vacancies is twofold. One, I've added a number of positions. If you know, when I ran for sheriff the first time, my platform was to make our schools safe, and by doing that, I was going to make sure we had a resource officer in every school district in Monroe County. That was my 4-year plan, and we did that in 2 years. And we've added additional positions at Frenchtown, Monroetown, and we lost positions, people, to other communities that offered higher pay and a defined benefit retirement package. We do an exit interview with every employee, and they praised our training program, what we offer for equipment. It's just, I can't compete with Ann Arbor. I couldn't compete with some of these downriver communities. I say I couldn't. The Board of Commissioners just settled their contract in January and gave them a very lucrative raise. And on Tuesday, they went into closed session to discuss bringing back defined benefit. And I have people that left that have called and said, Sheriff, when this gets inked, we're coming back. So I didn't purposely, because the numbers of response time is all over the board. We could have a car and we could be here in 2 minutes on one call, and the next one may take 30. And I'm just telling everybody, I'm not proud of the response times. And to be honest with you, I just forgot to print it off today, or I'd have had it in front of me. Our administrative assistant left, and I had to scramble this myself this morning. But anyway, so they are, I will tell you, they're not what they used to be. We're countywide, and I just looked at the annual report for the month of September, and I think our average response time across the county was 22 minutes. And we have some communities where it's quick, some communities where it's a lot slower. But that's about the county average that we're shooting for. And I think when I give you that number, I think our county average was about 17 minutes.
Thank you.
You forgot or 2 things, actually.
He forgot?
Freedom Festival and like our Veterans Day Parade. You guys are always here for that. We really appreciate that. You provided the barricades last year, which our insurance agent there really loved, and we appreciate that
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
much.
And those, and I know you're having your Veterans Parade, those are available. And just so you as a council know, we have one set of 8. They're over $100,000, and we buy them with grant money. We've got another set on order. Our ultimate goal is to have 24 barricades, 3 trailers. And those are always available to you whenever you have a community event, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you can go online, Mr. Gardner, I don't know if you know, you can go online and reserve them. You just have to pick them up, the trailer, and it takes an F-250 to get them. So they have that. So, and we'll be here for your Veterans Parade. I'll make sure I get that marked on our calendar to help you with that as well.
Yeah, really, really appreciate that. When I see these events, things that happen across the country, it really disturbs me. So
And that's-
everything we can do to help.
Absolutely, and that's what
really
we want to do,
appreciate
right? We want to protect not only our citizens, but our visitors who do that, participate in our events. And we know those barricades are very effective. I know Whiteford just used them at their community days, and they were very happy.
it. Thank you.
I can answer any other questions or comments.
Yeah, just a comment here, just a statement of gratitude. Last Friday, you responded to a call from my neighbor at his Airbnb. He had some issues trespassing, some unruly guests, but your officer was courteous. They were prompt, and they provided service and put him at ease. So,
Good.
wanted to say thanks.
Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, you have a great chief. You have a great. I said that the day you folks hired him. I was here. He does a great job for you. He's active in the community. He attends our chief meetings, gives input, and you're very fortunate in this community. All law enforcement, whether it's the sheriff's office, local law enforcement, Michigan State Police, we all work together very well. And that's a benefit to you, because that doesn't happen in a lot of communities across this great state.
Very good.
And I'm glad that
Thank
I'm glad, Mr. Mayor, that you bought a Chevy product.
Yeah, yeah. I want what's best for my constituents, and loyalty to my pension. That I'll put that aside. They're good vehicles. I have no problem.
Don't you drive a Ford?
I drive Fords and they pay my pension. So,
Okay.
but you buy what's the best. What's the best for the application? Anybody else?
Dave Davison, 4404 Center First Street, Luna, Pier, Michigan. After the last council meeting, I had a chance to talk to a couple of the chancellors. Counselors, okay.
Yeah.
Counselors, all right. Counselors, councilperson. And was discussing basically two different issues, and Parks and Rec has probably the biggest. I'd have to go to them, but before wasting a lot of time and energy investigating some of this stuff, I would just like council's feelings on turning the old ball field here that nobody ever uses into a dog park. I know Councilman Needing said about dogs running loose over here, but if we could fund the project through either a GoFundMe page or donations to finish the fencing that would needed to be done here. I think it's along the third baseline fencing, and then on the corner of Wright Field, there's an opening. And I believe that's it as far as openings go. Oh, two each behind the dugout. Not the dugout, the backstop. There's an opening there. And turn that into a dog park where the residents of Luna Pier could come and let their dogs run and give them a place to run. There's really no place legally in the city that you could let your dog loose and let him run. And I've seen some dog parks that are just fabulous. If anybody wants to look at a nice one, it's down off of Anthony Wayne Trail, right before you get to Glendale on the west side of the road. Beautiful dog park there.
Near the zoo.
Just beautiful.
Blissfield has one as well.
Okay. But and there's people out there willing to put the time and energy in, but like I said, there's no sense in wasting a lot of time and energy, unless council is up for it also. I did talk to Dustin for a second. I'm gonna have a conversation with him tomorrow as far as insurance liability and see where we would be at with that too, because I know that's gonna be a concern. That's that on a dog park, but I would like a consensus from council, how they would feel about that. That's that issue. The other issue is, another issue probably for Parks and Recs too, mainly, is just west of here where the pavilion is out there, across the field, there's a pavilion there, and there's a strip of land that runs from the pavilion all the way over to Locust Street. It's, I'm gonna say at least 3 acres, 2.5 to 3 acres there. Would like to see if residents of the city of Luna Pier could utilize that there as their own personal gardens, if they wanted to put in a garden space in that area over there.
It's basically south of the development strip.
Yes,
Just adjacent to, but south of the
right.
the two house
It would be on
development.
the other side of the tree line there.
Mhm.
Because you have the development and you have some open space. I believe Mark Doomsville owns that little bit of open space. Then you have the tree line, and it would be south of that tree line.
Actually, we do own a little bit north of the tree line too. So there's,
Yeah,
I mean, it can go either place, but.
yeah. But, I would like council's thoughts about that. where someone could go in and put their own personal garden in.
It would need a fence because we have deer that roam through our front yards and right down the street out
Oh,
there.
we would just post someone there to shoot the deer.
What?
I'm
Right
joking.
Right on the YouTube
I'm
there.
joking. I'm joking.
Venison
Okay.
year round.
But that's,
Cuff him now.
but that's all I had for council tonight. But would, like, just your thoughts and ideas.
Well, actually, thanks for bringing up both of those things. And obviously, insurance is going to be one of the major factors in, especially one of those, the dog park, right? With risk and liability
Right.
and dog biting and fighting and whatever, how socialized dogs can and can't be. Care to?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
So what I would have said to him and what I'll say to you guys is, I read a book to my children when they were kids, give a mouse a cookie. And it can apply to any and everything that a community does. Dog parks, I don't have an opinion one way or another. I am a dog owner. I don't utilize dog parks. However, what I've seen over the years is they're structured by weight and size. You definitely want to have ordinances. You want to have rules and regulations posted. I would go as far to have a community email or text number in case there are incidents to report. You are correct. We are not without responsibility and liability to them. Claims are kind of like shrapnel from an explosion. Wherever the shrapnel goes, people can be brought into. And as a community, if somebody sees fit that their animal was harmed in some way, they could hold you responsible because that public space was provided by you. There's been plenty of successes with dog parks. I've had claims related to dog parks. As we all know, those animals turn into very precious family members. I don't prescribe to that, but that doesn't, I'm not passing judgment on it. But people go to great lengths. My sister, before children, probably spent $10,000 keeping her Chihuahua alive for 6 years. It was remarkable to me. I never understood it, but that's where she lies. And so, while I think they're great, I do think they need to be well planned out. I've seen that, like you said, they've evolved into weight classes instead of just big open running areas. They do try to keep weight separated, and they also do identify dogs that shouldn't be in the park. Chief Sheriff, you could probably help me out with what those dangerous dog categories are. I know the cursory ones, but there's Dobermans and Rots, and everybody has an opinion about a German Shepherd. But there's also a list of animals or dogs that they would not allow in there, and that also becomes contentious in the conversation, which brings me back to the start of what I said of give a mouse a cookie. If you give a mouse a cookie, he will want milk, and so on and so on and so on. And so it's like a small dog park or a small run or whatever. I can feel it in my professional career. It evolves. And so do we start small and then we end up big, or we just go right to the end point? And with that being said, the fencing would be, you're gonna spend some money in fencing. Have you guys bought fencing recently? Anybody price that? It's expensive. It's expensive. Chain link is just expensive right now. I just had backstops and first and third base fencing replaced at 4 ball fields. It was like $36,000. It gets expensive, so, you know what I mean? You'd have to do some serious fundraising. So and as I just told him, if I asked you to be in Mackinac tomorrow, there are several ways to go to Mackinac in the state of Michigan. Doesn't matter how or what path you take, just as long as we all arrive at Mackinac together. Does that make sense? So if you arrive at a dog park or a consensus to do a dog park, just make sure that the research is done, everything's put in properly, and you go from there. And knock on wood, it might be perfectly harmless and successful, or like you said, you could have something come out of it. So Any questions?
How much would it raise our premium?
I will be fair to that. Just like the physical liability of it will not raise the premium. It's the fencing. That's where it's going to get expensive. I know it sounds goofy, but it'll have to be an inland marine item that, and here's the thing. I mean, would anybody ever probably hit it? Because it would probably be in an area where a car probably can't reach it. You want to think about the trees, because that's typically what happens is trees falls on fences. If you get too ornate of fencing and it gets discontinued, and all of a sudden you're going to have a goofy hole with discontinued fencing in it. Sometimes people don't like that. So if you do put fencing up, make sure there's no trees in the area. Otherwise, you should be fine on the liability side. It doesn't increase the liability costs. What it increases is potential claims in the future. Because there's one thing I can tell you is I don't have to worry about a dog bite claim here, because all of you are walking your dogs on public streets. The second you bring it to our public dog park, then that grass area then becomes a liability, which we could have a claim to. So without having it, you definitely wipe away any dog bite incidences. With having it, there is always a possibility, and I'm not saying how great it is a possibility now, and that's the world we have to think about. So. And sir, just so you know, that's exactly what I would have said to you tomorrow. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? It's open. Floor is open. Yes, Early?
Oh, man.
Marilyn Foster, 4360 South Fifth Street, Luna Pier. I just wanted to say thank you to the city and the DPW. They did a wonderful job cleaning the beach this year. No trees grew up, no nothing. They've been out there faithfully. Really did a very, very nice job. And it's a lot of work to clean up after a lot of people, and it was a very hot summer. But they did a great job, so thank you.
Thank you.
And the second thing I wanted to say is, Charlie added a piece to the newsletter when we talked about, it came about at a planning meeting, I think, because people were saying they didn't know about certain things, and it's like, how do you can't send a note to everybody in the city. So one of the ideas was, so Charlie did a great job with a whole page on what he knew was coming up now, and at any given time, they come out quarterly, right? But then there was instructions about how to find out where to go. What very nicely done. It really was, and it was a page. I know I took it out, but I was hoping that maybe a lot of other people might just hang it somewhere in the house, because it was a great way to find out what's going on. So thank you for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank
Did a
you.
great job.
You did.
Yep.
It was perfect.
And I heard from someone you probably didn't even talk to that said that was one of the best newsletters we ever put out.
Yeah,
So
it was
it's
great.
appreciate that. Floor is open. Anybody would like? If not, we'll close the public comment section and move on to council action. Do I have a motion on item A?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 248, Fire Code adoption of the 2024 edition of the International Fire Code, first reading as presented, and waive the actual reading.
Support.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote.
Perry,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes, sorry.
Huang,
Yes.
Eating,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Police vehicle purchase.
I
Do I-
propose a motion to approve the police department's purchase of a 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 in the amount of $46,989 as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion. We have support. Any discussion? Let's do a roll call vote.
Huang,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Eating,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Get us a new Chevy. Decker insurance package. Do I have a motion?
I propose a motion to approve the Decker insurance package in the amount of $46,689 for 1 year effective 11/1/2025 to 11/1/2026 as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? Again, we'll do a roll call vote.
Osluper,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Huang,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carried. Now, item D, blight ordinance, first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed City of Luna Pier ordinance number to be yet determined, blight ordinance. First reading, and waive the reading.
Support.
We have a motion, we have support. Any discussion? Do a roll call vote again.
Huang,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Osluper,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carried. We'll work on that and also work on Blake Committee during this week and present that next meeting. And we do have copies available for anybody who wants one. Council input and information. I think we'll start this end.
I'm all set.
I have nothing.
Councilor Perry.
Nope, great newsletter, Charlie, thank you. I'm all set.
Newsletter editor of the year. I'm all set.
All right.
I'm all set as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Correspondence received and sent. The fall newsletter was mailed out, and we have copies here if somebody wants a hard copy. Monroe County Emergency Management Division Hazard Mitigation. This is a big deal. I've been on them for several years. The old one was passed, I think, 2017. It's a 5-year plan. Our emergency plan is based off that one. Now, we've updated ours with the names and everything. I'm really glad to see they're finally moving forward with it. They've had a lot of turmoil in the county emergency manager's office with some turnover and retirements and things like that. So that's a big deal. That does affect us and our emergency mitigation plan. Going on to general information, Veterans Day Parade, Saturday, November 8th. Really looking forward to that, honoring our veterans. City Hall closed Veterans Day Tuesday, November 11th on the actual holiday. Parks and Rec Tuesday, November 4th. No, that's not right.
No, that is, because they didn't want to meet on Veterans Day. which
Oh, okay, so it is the 4th. I have a 4 and a 9 there, so that's.
Oh,
So they're meeting November 4th.
yes.
At 7 p.m. at the library. Flood and erosion, Tuesday, November 18th, 7 p.m. here at Water Tower Park. Planning coming up Tuesday, November 25th. We also have one coming up this Tuesday.
Right.
The next planning meeting. The regularly scheduled planning meeting. We had a special meeting and the regular meeting coming up this Tuesday, 6 o'clock here at Water Tower Park. DDA Tuesday, November 25th. Again, we have that this month too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, at Luna Pier Lighthouse and City Council, November 13th. That one is correct. 2025, 7 p.m. here at Water Tower Park. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Maybe-
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in
I'll
favor?
take back all your
Aye.
feelings on that newsletter, Charlie.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
Try the chicken at the Sunoco.
Oh, yes.